Hey guys, Jared here. Just figured I'd go ahead and show you guys a little bit of my video game collection. Honestly, I've been kind of downsizing a little bit recently, but I still got too much crap. Figure I'd start with like this area first. Don't have too many Xbox games, no need to. But I will say I bought this one, Conquer Live and Reloaded, on launch day back in like 2004. This might be one of the oldest games that I have. A lot of them I've ended up rebuying, but this one I've had for like over 20 years now. Got classic, I don't know what's wrong with this case. Manhunt, I think that's gotta be like someone printed that off. Oh yeah, someone definitely printed that off. Max Payne, still a really good game. Max Payne 2, still an okay game. Like, you know, not as good as the first one. Battlefront 2, actually, don't hate me for this, but I actually have never played this one. I just got it at Goodwill for super cheap. Played the hell out of the first one though, the first one, classic game. And then Chaos Theory. Love Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell rules. Throw that there. I got a lot of Xbox One and Series X games. Bloodstain, Ritual of the Night. Really good game, actually. Bully. Beat it for the first time. It's a lot of fun, actually. Yeah, they should really do a sequel or something like that. Crackdown 3. It's okay. It's still fun, you know what I mean? If you like Crackdown, but at the end of the day, it's just more of the same. Dead Rising 3. I actually really enjoyed it. Dead Rising 4. Not as bad as everyone says. Like, everyone says that this game killed the series. It's okay, it's fun. It'll, you know, get your attention and all that, and it's Christmas themed, so Merry Christmas. Dead Space, going through this one right now. It's good. It's Dead Space, you know exactly what you're getting with it. Destiny 2, never played it. Devil May Cry, never played it. And then Doom 2016. It's good, but in my opinion, like, it's awesome, but by about like the 4th or 5th level in, you're just kind of like, all right, I know what this game's gonna be. And that's basically it, the whole game. Doom Eternal, never played it. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, dude, this game was a freaking blast, honestly. It's like, the game itself, it's okay. But it really felt like I was just going through Dragon Ball Z again. It's like, who doesn't love Dragon Ball Z? If you don't like Dragon Ball Z, like, you suck. Greatest game of all time, Fallout 76. No, dude, it actually is a pretty fun game, now that they've patched it and all that kind of. But I got this for $1. Gears of War Ultimate, I prefer the original. Gears of War 4, never played it, but me and my homie are going through all the Gears of War games, and I'm kind of excited to play it. Gears 5, no clue. Master Chief Collection, you gotta have it, you know. This game sucks. This game is terrible. Like, oh man, I can't tell you the last time that I hated a game as much as I hated Halo 5. Nothing about it's fun. Everything about it sucks. And this was like a breath of fresh air after playing Halo 5. It's different. It's okay. It's okay. Killer Instinct, classic. It's actually really good, but I don't have much attention for fighting games anymore. Mad Max, underrated game. Actually a lot of fun. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Still haven't gone through this on this. I've gone through the original collection on 360. Someday I'll get back to this. Andromeda. No idea, never played it. Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. Good game. I like the mechanics a lot and I like the gameplay of it, but it kind of feels storyless, like as you're going through it. It's like it's fun to go and just drop into it for maybe like an hour or so. Doesn't really feel like you're making any progress through the story, like, I don't know. And then, of course, if you're gonna have an Xbox One or a Series X, Rare Replay. Tons of great games on there. I actually just went through GoldenEye for the first time on 00 Agent, and I got all the cheats. Still good. These are the ones that I've been most obsessed with this year. I've just gone through the entire like Resident Evil series that's available on Xbox. Resident Evil 0 and OG Resident Evil Remake. Resident Evil 2, this game rules. I've gone through this game like 4 or 5 times now. Honestly, this is one of the most fun survival horror games that I've ever played. Like, great game. Mediocre game. Not that good. Worth playing, but it's like after coming off of Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 4 Remake. I actually just beat this one recently. It's good. It's really good. But I'd still rather be playing the original Resident Evil 4. The entire time I was playing, I was like, yeah, this is fun and all. But some of the mechanics, like, they added, like, for instance, the knife, the perfect parry and all that kind of stuff, I get why they did it, but at the end of the day, like, it just doesn't feel necessary. This game. I hate this game. This game was terrible. Like, dog. And the thing is, this one, out of the entire series, this is the longest one too, so you're just, oh, I hate that game. Love this game. Resident Evil 7 was one of the best games I played in a long time. The first like 2 hours of it, one of the scariest experiences of my life in terms of video games. I just wish that the rest of the game was as good as the first 2 hours, because like once you get the shotgun, you know, you have nothing to be afraid of. You have a shotgun, you know. Resident Evil Village, it was good. Not as good as 7. That's all I gotta say about that one. Good game. It was good for what it was, you know what I mean? Not a fan. Actually, Bryce, pretty good. Pretty good. It's like fun 4 hours. I wanted to really like this game because I love roller coasters. Roller Coaster Tycoon is one of my favorites. But this game sucks. One of the best games of all time. Without a doubt. Ernesto, you know this. You know this. I've gone and I got every platinum on both versions.
Goddamn, he's got 2 copies.
Yeah. I went through and I actually beat this one without dying once. Let's go. Let's go. It's weird too because when you first start playing it for the first time, it feels like it's the hardest of all like the From Software like Souls-esque games, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But once you get the combat down, you know how to play the game. It kind of becomes one of the easiest ones, but it's still the most satisfying the whole time you're playing it. I actually kind of want to replay it again already. What next? Oh, Session. Love this game. It's really difficult, but it's just like one of the most fun skateboarding games that I've ever played. Everything feels super realistic. They have a lot of actual skate spots. Definitely recommend if you're a little bit of a masochist, because again, it's insanely difficult. And then, you know, you got your fun Skate 3. I still prefer Skate 2, which for some reason I don't believe is backwards compatible, but Skate 1 and Skate 3 are. Why? I don't know. Steep. This game's fun. Nesta, you ever play this one?
No.
It's a snowboarding game, skiing, like it's got all tons of events, but it's like, it's got an open world mountain, and it's just one of those games where it's like if you don't really want to focus on too much, you just want to just chill and just surf or snowboard the mountain, you know, just go down. You can get lost in this game very easily, or at least I do. I genuinely love that game. Sunset Overdrive, it was okay. It wasn't like terrible, it wasn't the best. I expected more from it, honestly, but for what it is, it was cool. Yeah. And then Tropical 5. I love just being a dictator and just being a piece of All right, and that's it for Xbox One and Series X. Go up next. Oh, we're gonna keep in line with Xbox right now. I'll do PlayStation afterwards. Not too many PlayStation games. Best Assassin's Creed game, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Even if you've never played any of the other ones, this is just like the greatest pirate game ever made. Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, great band. Good game, worth playing. BioShock, if you haven't played BioShock, what the f***? Brutal Legend, it was good. It's good. The RTS mechanics in it are a little bit weird, but at the same time, like, I mean, you could basically meet Lemmy in it. It's awesome, you know? Rest in peace, Lemmy. Who the fuck? Call of Duty at World at War. I have no idea who Shalisi is. I don't know. Yeah, this is one of the more fun Call of Duty games. I like a lot of the older Call of Duty games, realistically. Haven't played one since, I think, Black Ops 2. Yeah. Hey, remember that time that I knocked over all your games?
Yes.
Modern Warfare. Still a lot of fun, honestly. Modern Warfare 2 wasn't like it's still fun, but I feel like this is where they really started kind of making it overly complicated and just adding in things that didn't need to exist. Like there's something about the simplicity of this one, you know? You got radar, you got airstrikes, and you got the helicopter. And that's it. And it's just like basic. This one they added too many whatever they call it. Kill streaks, yeah. Still good, but I don't know, felt unneeded. And then Black Ops, this one's kind of the same thing in my mind, but this is just like a better version of Modern Warfare 2 in the same kind of regards. Didn't really add too much, but it just added more variety and it kind of just made everything work a little bit better. My room is becoming a mess. What are the numbers, Mason? What are the numbers, Mason? Great game. Well, I feel like very underrated. Yeah, a lot of fun, especially for an Xbox 360 launch title. It still looks really good. The melee mechanics in it were a lot of fun. Not as much fun. Number 2, it's like they tried turning it into like a first-person like brawler. Just, I don't know. No. Crackdown, blast. Crackdown 2, not as much of a blast. Death Smiles, I love shmups. Destiny, never even played it on Xbox. I think I got that one at Goodwill for like $1, I don't know. Devil May Cry Collection, why is this not backwards compatible? It pisses me off. Of course, Devil May Cry 2 isn't that good, but Devil May Cry 3 and the first Devil May Cry frickin' rule. My favorite's probably the first one. Me and my friend used to just hang out and play through Devil May Cry all the frickin' time. Good series. The GOAT, you already know.
The goat.
Not the GOAT. Still fun. I remember back in the day when you and I used to play this game. I think you got it from Gamefly or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's fun couch co-op with your homies, but in terms of overall Earth Defense Force, it's kind of watered down. They kind of oversimplified, Americanized it. Whereas like 2017, for instance, like I just showed you, that one's got like 60 stage, or like around 60 stages, I think, like hundreds of guns, like great replay value. This one, it's got like 20 something stages. Like it's still fun. Oblivion, great game. Skyrim, also great game. I don't know which one I like more. Skyrim definitely streamlined a lot of the stuff from Oblivion, but at the same time, no, I definitely like Oblivion more. Because in Oblivion, whenever you make a character, it's kind of like you follow a certain build at a certain point, whereas like playing Skyrim, at a certain point, whenever your character gets leveled up, everyone's going to have the same character. You're going to be able to do everything, you know what I mean? Whereas like in Oblivion, if you make a thief, you're playing a thief, you know? I like that. I like that kind of stuff. Complete Grand Theft Auto 4. Great game, actually. This one's more fun to go back to than GTA 5 in my mind. The mechanics in it are just really good. Me and my friends used to hang out and we would just do hospital massacres whenever we played this game. Like we would just spawn in at the hospital, turn right around, go back inside, and just find all the patients like on their hospital beds and just pop, 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 just kill them. Real up fun. Fallout 3. Personally, this is my favorite of all the Fallout games. I've tried to go through New Vegas a couple times, but I keep ending up getting like 40 hours in and then I just kind of lose interest, get distracted or whatever. But something about Fallout 3. Love that one. I don't have Fallout New Vegas anymore. I don't know what happened to it. I think I might have let someone borrow it. I need to get it again. But because of the frickin' Fallout TV show, now New Vegas is super expensive. Thanks. Gears, classic. Ernesto and I, one time, we wanted to play co-op and so we went to GameStop. I think this had to have been like 2007, 2008, right around that time. And I didn't have a copy. So it's like we went to a GameStop. They said that they didn't have it. Went to another GameStop. They had it, but they didn't have the actual case. It was one of those GameStop cases. And I hate those cases. So I'm like, screw that. And then I don't know why, but we went back to the first GameStop and we found it right here. Yeah. Like $5. They had the case, they had the game, they were just, oh man.
You're so mad that day.
I was so mad. I hate those GameStop cases. I hate them. Like, some games I'm okay with having the cases just because I think it's funny. Like I got 50 Cent Bulletproof on PS2. But it's one of those Hollywood video cases. Normally I wouldn't want this, but since I've only got one like this, it's kind of like a little novelty, you know? I think it's fun. We'll get onto those later. Gears 2, great game. Gears 3, probably my least favorite of the original trilogy, but still a really good game. Shout out Coltrane. Gears of War Judgment. I actually never really went through this one. I played a bit of it, and I remember liking it, but I just, at that point, I don't know. I think I just lost interest. One of these days, I'll get back to it. Halo 3. How could you not like Halo 3? Halo 3, one of the greatest games, first-person shooters of all time. How do I not have Halo 2 or Halo 1 anymore? What the f-
I don't know. That's weird. Especially Halo 1, because you like Halo 1 a lot.
Halo 1's the best. Oh, no, I think what it is, since I got the Master Chief Collection.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
God, this is stupid. At the end of this, we're going to have to show you just a pile of all the games. Killer is Dead. I'm going through this one for the first time. It's good. It's like, I think it's Suda 51, but at the same time, you look everywhere and it doesn't say Suda 51 anywhere, so I really don't know. It's okay. It's fine. Though, I just recently went through the entire No More Heroes series, and that series was awesome, and then going from that to this, it's like kind of underwhelming, but this game's still wild. Left 4 Dead 2 still works, backwards compatible, and there's still an active online community. Great game. They really need to make a new one, because Back 4 Blood sucked. I hated that. The whole card system. No. Any game that has a card system like that, you. Max Payne 3, going through this one for the first time. Great game. Honestly, the shooting mechanics, this might be like the pinnacle of like third-person shooters, really. I can't think of one that's done it better, just the attention to detail on this one, and it's just fun. I do wish that I could play the multiplayer. This one's conflicting for me. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I've heard so many good things about this game. Everyone loves this game. I mean, I don't hate this game, but it's like it's a little bit underwhelming after getting all the hype. And it's like I've seen a lot of the videos online of how crazy it is and all that. And I'm just like...
I think you saw me fight Armstrong like back in
the final boss where it's just like the businessman.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's like stuff like that. It's awesome, but playing it, I'm like, it's okay. It's maybe, I'd say maybe like a... Honestly, for me, it's like I might give it like a 7-7. It's not bad by any means, but a lot of hype for it. Then you got the Metal Gear Solid Collection. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is probably my favorite of these ones, at least, because I feel like it's got the most replay value, you know? It's literally just like Rambo, the game. You put in Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty and you're expecting to just play around for like 30 minutes. It's like, no, you're not really gonna get anywhere. Whereas Snake Eater, even 30 minutes, you can just sneak around, be a little like hole in the jungle. You can around in that game, and that's what I like about it. Peace Walker also. Peace Walker's good. It's, I think, PSP originally.
Yeah.
It's good. It's fine. Especially for a PSP game, I'd be stoked on it. I used to have a PSP, Metal Gear Acid. Good game. I like that one a lot. I miss these games a lot. I wish that people still played them, and I wish that they would go back to Vegas too. Like if they came out with Rainbow Six Vegas 3 nowadays, something about this game, just like the terrorist hunt mode, really fun. Like both of them are really good, but Vegas 2 is one of those sequels where it's just like it's the same game just done better. Like underrated games, honestly. Not enough people talk about Vegas and Vegas 2. Red Dead Redemption, one of the best. Classic game. I remember, oh man, one of my favorite stories about Red Dead Redemption, me and my friends, so we're all playing online, and I'm in a stagecoach, I'm the one driving, they're all in the back, and I could just hear them shooting, you know? And I just drive it straight towards a cliff, and I jump out at the last second, and halfway through their conversation, they all just like, "Wah!" and just crash into the ground, and I'm just on top of the cliff just laughing my ass off. Like, a lot of good times with this game. I'd say that I like it more than Red Dead 2 overall, just because Red Dead 2, great game. It kind of became like too much, you know? Something about Red Dead 1, it's like, it's pretty contained and it's concise in what it wants to do, whereas Red Dead 2, it really goes for the realism effect on a lot of levels. I don't know, both are amazing, you know? Resident Evil 5, one of Ernesto's favorite games of all time. Like, Ernesto will not shut up about Resident Evil 5.
Alright, sure.
He's got a thing for Shiva. I mean, I think that's her name, right?
Yeah.
Or is that
Shiva.
is that the chick from Mortal Kombat?
It's Shiva.
Well, anyway, Ernesto's favorite game of all time.
Okay, sure.
Ernesto's second favorite game of all time. Shut up, Ernesto.
Okay.
Operation Raccoon City. Ernesto loves this game. He will not shut up about Raccoon City. You should see it. He's made a whole 4-hour video about Operation Raccoon City that he refuses to release because he doesn't want anyone to know how big of a fan he is. You gotta release that video, Ernesto.
Alright, sure.
Skate, awesome game. If you can't tell, I love skateboarding. I love skateboarding video games. Always good, even the ones that are it's like they're worth playing, in my mind at least. Good game. I'm gonna go through the PlayStation games in like order of console. I don't have too many original PlayStation games, but like Driver 2, never played it, but I mean, I found it at Goodwill for $1. Grind Session. Terrible skateboarding game, but it's still fun because it's a skateboarding game. Skateboarding featuring Andy McDonald. Terrible skateboarding game, but a lot of fun. Street Skater. Another skateboarding game. This one is really bad, but at the same time, I grew up playing this game. Me and my friend Joey, shout out Joey, we would always play this game, and it's like, did you ever play that game, that arcade game Top Skater? The one where it's actually got the skateboard and you're it's kind of like a home version of that. It's bad, but I don't know, it's one of those ones, I've got a soft spot for that game. And then the greatest OG PlayStation game in my mind, Twisted Metal 2. Can't beat it. Twisted Metal Black is close, but not as good. On to PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2's kind of been a little bit of my baby recently in terms of collecting. You can go to Goodwill and you can find the games for really cheap all the time. 50-cent Bulletproof, actually it's a good game. I never got the chance to play Blood on the Sand. Still looking for that one. It's good. It cracks me up though, because at the beginning of the game, you know, you play as 50 Cent, but you're in his apartment. On his TV, his music's playing. It's got like ads for vitamin water, which he owned at the time, but his apartment ain't got in it. I'm just like, damn, 50, you gotta be better with your money. But there's nothing in his apartment, but it's just like he's everywhere on the TV. You'd think, you know, what the 50? That's always cracked me up. AC/DC Live. Pretty good at Guitar Hero and Rock Bands and all that. And I can't remember what song it is, but the very first song on this game on Expert, and it's like, I played them all on Expert, you know, it's just what I do. I'm not gonna go to hard at this point, but the first song on this, for some reason, it's got like a little solo, and it's just like, I can't get like 3% in, and it's just like, pisses me off, and I have no want to play it anymore. Ace Combat 4, it's fun. Aggressive Inline. Actually, this is the greatest Tony Hawk game that's not actually Tony Hawk. Like, it's kind of similar to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 in that it's like, it's got an open environment. You have to kind of skate around, find the objectives. But the levels are really big, and there's a lot of like interaction with the levels. Good game, it's a lot of fun. This game sucks. This game is terrible, but it's still fun. It's skateboarding. Kind of. Ooh, Armored Core 3, great game. Ernesto was just like, funny enough, my homie found this game at Goodwill for $1. And now this game's like 60, 70 bucks. Like, that's one of the best Goodwill come-ups. Keep an eye on your Goodwills. Like, you find a lot of good stuff. ATV Off-Road Fury 3, it's good. If you haven't played an ATV Off-Road Fury game and you own a PlayStation 2, what the hell? It's like one of the best-selling series on there, I guess. Still never got around to beating this one. Beyond Good and Evil. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I actually intend to go through it, but I've got such a backlog at this point, I don't know if I ever will. But in terms of like all of video gaming, I feel like at some point I gotta play through that one, you know? Then Bully on PlayStation 2, awesome. Burnout Dominator, I think this was the Burnout game that was on PSP. And I actually really like this one because it plays like the old school Burnout games, you know what I mean? Burnout Paradise was fun, but there's something so nice about just like the simplicity of going through the menus. Like, oh man, it sounds terrible. It's like nowadays everyone's like, menus, what the f? In Burnout, the most fun things, in my mind, is whenever it just like, it sets you up in front of a ramp that leads straight onto the highway and you just need to create a massive collision, you know? And this one does a lot of that kind of stuff. Like, whereas Burnout Paradise, you can still make those big collisions, but it's like, I don't know, Burnout Paradise feels more like a racing game, whereas the old Burnout games just kind of feel arcadey. This case is broken. Ooh, Cabela's Outdoor Adventures. You ever want to go deer hunting in your house? Cabela's. Call of Duty 2, Big Red 1. It's just another World War II shooter of that era, you know? It's not bad. Castlemania. Castlemania. Whoa. Dude. All right, Castlemania. Oh, yeah. Macho Man. Castlevania Lament of Innocence. There's 2 PS2 Castlevania games to my knowledge. The other one is supposed to be way better. I can't remember what it's called right now.
Curse of Darkness.
Curse of Darkness. Yeah, I played a little bit of it. It's okay. I'm more of a fan of the 2D Castlevanias, of course. But the Castlevania game that came out a couple years back, that's kind of like Shadow of the Colossus or God of War, that one was okay. I don't have it anymore, but yeah. Underrated game, Dark Cloud. Basically just kind of like you go through a massive dungeon, collect stuff, build a town. A lot of fun. Dynasty Warriors 5, gotta have one of the Dynasty Warriors games. I've always been a big fan of this series. Me and my friends, we used to play Dynasty Warriors 3 and 4 a lot. And I would always play as that guy, Yahoo Dunn, I think. And then, oh, there's a character in this game called Cowpea. I always thought that was really funny. Club World. So this one's kind of like it's kind of like an audio interface. Like you can just kind of make beats and all that. It's cool for what it is, but I mean, it's kind of clunky. And I mean, like, yeah. But it's got Carl Cox on it, DJ Carl Cox. Carl Cox rules. One of the inventors of house music. Enter the Matrix on PlayStation 2. I initially got this game on Gamecube for my birthday. And I had fun with it, but I beat it that same day and I was really pissed off. Not that good, but I'm still nostalgic for it, you know? I know a lot of people also really liked the other one, Path of Neo or whatever. I never played that one. I don't know why. Family Guy, the video game, found this one at Goodwill for $1. Actually, you know, it's like I played a little bit of this one. It's okay, because it really does feel like you're just watching an episode or playing through an episode of Family Guy, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but yeah. I guess shout out Family Guy. Yeah. Ooh, Final Fantasy X, great game. Yeah, not much to say about it, honestly. It's like, in my mind, the last great Final Fantasy game. Yeah. Ooh, The Godfather, the game. This game is weird because it plays like a GTA clone, but the controls are really weird. Like, if you want to punch someone, you use like the right thumbstick. Yeah. But, so I used to have this game on the Wii. They came out with like, I think it's The Godfather Hitman Edition, something like that. Me and my friend Scotty used to play this game, and we would sit there and we would take turns grabbing people and just holding them over a fireplace and then throwing them in. And on the Wii, you actually just like fire, you know. Shout out Scotty. Grand Theft Auto 3, great game. It's a blast. I remember playing this game as a kid and just beating up hookers. What? That's what you do? That's what you do.
I know.
If you played Grand Theft Auto 3 and you didn't beat up a hooker, you weren't playing Grand Theft Auto 3. Grand Theft Auto Vice City, great game. Used to play this game and beat up hookers. No, funny enough, one of my favorite stories about this game, or memories I guess with this game, is my friends down the street. They had 5 kids, and I was friends with all of them, but the youngest one, for I believe his 10th birthday, his parents bought him Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And I was like 14, 15 at the time, and I was just like, I thought it was weird because this is the same family. They weren't allowed to watch Pokemon or play Pokemon because they considered it to be like monsters and it was evil. They weren't allowed to watch Rugrats because talking babies. But they go and they get the little kid Grand Theft Auto Vice City. It's like, I don't understand your family. San Andreas. Great game. I actually played this one mainly on the Xbox. I don't have it. Oh man. Going through this, I'm going to be finding a bunch of games that I don't have anymore. I used to have the adults only version of this on Xbox.
Oh, the hot copy.
Yeah. Great game. It's actually multiplayer. Me and my friends, we used to take turns just like, we would steal a dirt bike, someone would get on the back and we would just try to get 5 stars just by like doing drive-bys and all that. One of these days I'll have to go back through it. GTA Liberty City Stories. I had a PSP for a while and I had this game. I mean, for what it was Grand Theft Auto. They did a pretty good job of putting it on portable. Cool that they released it on PS2. Guitar Hero Dual Pack. Guitar Hero 1, great game. The hammer-ons and pull-offs were a little bit difficult, so it's kind of hard to go back to nowadays, but it's got a great soundtrack, you know. Guitar Hero 2, that was the one. That was the one that changed it all. A lot of people say like Guitar Hero 3 was the best. Guitar Hero 3, nah, it's okay, it's good. But Guitar Hero 2, this one changed everything. Like, I remember for the longest time, you remember CJ, right? Moose? Every day after school when we were in high school, like freshman or sophomore year, we would go over to Game Crazy. Oh, that place, yeah, that's my card from 2004. I keep it in my wallet just in case. Just in case it comes back and I need my membership card that's expired. But we would go to Game Crazy and we would play the demo disc that only had like 5 songs. It had like Madhouse by Anthrax, Psychobilly Freakout. And just for hours, we'd be sitting there at Game Crazy, just looking at the TV in the corner, just like drooling and all that. And it was always funny because after you spend an hour or so playing Guitar Hero and just looking at the screen, and then you look everywhere else and everything just seems like it's like rising slowly. You're just like, ugh. Yeah, and then, there was also a time where he brought his PS2 to school, and Guitar Hero and 2 controllers, and I had a little portable TV at the time, and we just brought that and we ditched every single class that day. And we just played Guitar Hero 2 in the hallways. And every time security would come by and ask us, like, what the hell? Aren't you guys supposed to be in class? We'd just be like, oh, we're in ROTC. And they'd be like, all right, cool. And we got away with it. A lot of memories with Guitar Hero 2. Guitar Hero 3, a lot of memories with it too. Didn't like it as much. I felt like that's where the series kind of became a little bit more streamlined. But it had like Slayer and Dragon Force, you know. Still a good game. Not as good as Guitar Hero 2. Guitar Hero 2 is the peak of the series in my mind. World Tour. Not bad. I feel this is whenever they were starting to get more influenced by like Rock Band and all that. The soundtrack, so a lot of the songs aren't like very guitar oriented. It's like some were more for the vocalist, some were more for like the drummer, you know. I hear a lot of people still, in my mind, it's okay. It's all right. I still hear a lot of people talk about this game saying that it was their favorite growing up, but it's no Guitar Hero 2. Guitar Hero rocks the 80s. This was the expansion pack that came out. It's got some good songs. I like it more now than I did as a kid. When I was a kid, I was just like, we beat it in like one sitting. I think this was the last true Guitar Hero game made by Red Octane and Harmonix before like they split off. It's cool. Guitar Hero Aerosmith, it's okay. If you like Aerosmith, it's got a bunch of other songs. But for what it is, yeah. Guitar Hero Metallica. This game rocks. This game is metal as but it sucks on PlayStation 2 because the loading times take forever. So if you want to you'll be playing a song and you'll just get smoked right out of the gate because you haven't played the song before. So you go and you have to restart the song and then it's like a 2-minute loading screen. And then you again and then you got to start over. So awesome game, much better played on Xbox 360. But still cool to have, you know. It's got like Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, Diamond, Merciful Fate. Yes. Done. I actually love this game. This game is a lot of fun. It's kind of Red Dead Redemption before Red Dead Redemption was Red Dead Redemption. It's more Red Dead Redemption than Red Dead Revolver. Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of an underrated game. I remember me and my friend, we would play this game, and while we're riding our horse around, we would just pull out our gun and just shoot our horse, like while we're riding, and just, yeah. Hitman Contracts. I don't really have anything to say about it. I've never, I got this one at a Goodwill. Hitman games seem like they'd be a lot of fun, but I just don't have the drive, the want, you know what I mean? Just like, it's cool. It's a cool concept. It's kind of like an open sandbox. Go through the levels your own way. But yeah, just never really cared. Jak and Daxter, great game. It's basically just Crash Bandicoot, but like an open world of it. Classic. Manhunt, same thing as Manhunt on the Xbox, but this one doesn't have that stupid paper case. Interesting game. It's like, I want to like this game more than I actually do. The first half of it, awesome. And then it turns into a really bad third-person shooter. Yeah, it's cool that you play a snuff film, but yeah, I want to like it more than I actually do. Manhunt 2, not as good as the first Manhunt, but still cool. I used to play this game on the Wii, which it should not have been on, but it was. Yeah. I don't know what this is. Ooh, Maximo. Maximo is cool. It's part of the Ghosts and Goblins series of games. Underrated game, I feel like. Not a lot of people talk about it. Really difficult, but at the same time, it's like as you go through the game, you'll start to accrue skills and all that, but if you die, you lose your skills and you kind of are playing from a blank slate again. It's fun. Medal of Honor European Assault. Actually, I had this one as a kid, but I never really played it too much. This is where it started to feel a little bit more like Call of Duty. They tried to make it more of like open levels instead of like Frontline and Rising Sun, which are pretty linear. Yeah, it's okay. Frontline, classic. You know, if you haven't played Frontline rules. Medal of Honor Rising Sun, not as good as Frontline. Still really good. I'll never forget, I had this game on the Gamecube growing up, and I let my friend borrow it, and it was 2 discs on the Gamecube, and he gave it back to me with only the second disc, so it didn't have the first disc. And then he moved. I don't remember his name, but you know what you did. God, good game, but there's always gonna be that memory tied back to it for me. Midnight Club, got it at Goodwill. Actually, I don't think I've ever played any of the Midnight Club games. I hear they're good, yeah. MLB The Show, another Goodwill find. Shaolin Monks, really good game, really hard game for me as a kid. It's a cool concept. Kind of wish that they would go back to doing something similar to this, or just creative with Mortal Kombat again, because there hasn't been anything like this since. Mountain Bike Extreme Adrenaline. It was $1 at frickin' GameStop too. Never played it. NBA Street Volume 2, greatest basketball game of all time. Some people say like NBA Jam, also a lot of fun. But Volume 2, this game rules. Shout out DJ Cucumber Slice. Need for Speed Underground, good game, a lot of fun. It always cracks me up though, because for some reason, every time that I would play this, because I played this one when I got it, it just keeps like starting out with the same Little John song. So it would just be like, I go back to the menus and then Little John starts playing. I do a race, go back to the menu, Little John, lots of Little John. Shout out Little John. Neo Contra. This one was good, not as good as Shattered Soldier, which I used to have, by the way, but for some reason my PS2 stopped reading that disc only, and I got that disc refurbished multiple times and it didn't work. I don't know why. This one's more akin to like the PlayStation era of Contra games, where it's more like a top-down like shooter instead of just being like a side scroller. Still good though. Red Dead Revolver, really good game. I actually just beat this one for the first time pretty recently. Just a fun game. Resident Evil Code Veronica X. This is the last of the original style Resident Evil games that I have yet to beat. I've tried many times, but I know there's a part where you swap over to, I think it's Chris, and it's like if you do not leave items for Chris, you're just yourself over, and there would be times where I'm like, definitely leaving stuff for Chris, and then it turns out I didn't leave enough stuff for Chris. Hard game. Really good though. Rock Band, not as good as Guitar Hero in my mind, but a lot of fun. Nesto and I actually started kicking it because of Rock Band. What was our band name?
I don't know, it was like Death Panther or something.
Something dumb like Death Panther. Good game, not as good as Guitar Hero. Okay song list. Secret Weapons Over Normandy. $1 Goodwill find. SOCOM, good game. I actually am more fun with playing SOCOM on the PSP with Firestorm Bravo, Fireteam Bravo. I wish I would have been able to play this one when the online still worked on PlayStation 2, because it just seems like it would be a lot of fun. They should do another SOCOM game, you know? Oh, speaking of online games, they need to like re-release Resident Evil Outbreak on modern day consoles. Just because back then, no one had online, whereas if you were to play it now where everyone has online, it'd be perfect. Just go and make a remastering of that. What the is this? Sprint Cars, Road to Knoxville. SSX, the original SSX, I bought this one. I never got to play this one growing up. I love the SSX series. It's good. Honestly, Tricky is kind of like a remake of SSX, but it's just done way better. So this one's kind of moot to play now, but it's still fun to go back to if you like the series. SSX 3, greatest snowboarding game of all time, better than Snowboard Kids 2. This game is awesome. Even if you're not a big snowboarding fan, play this game. It's fun. You'll get lost in it. State of Emergency. This game is low-key really up, and I feel like not a lot of people know about this game. It'll just like drop you in the mall, and then in big bold letters, it'll just be like, kill people. And you're just like, okay, and then you just run around and you kill people. That's it. There's nothing more to this game. Yeah, I'm not even joking. It's just like, kill. Very arcadey. It's like, they don't make games like this anymore. Siphon Filter. This is another one where it's just like, I feel like I would have liked Siphon Filter had I been able to play it as a kid. I've heard good things about it. Shout out to the Blockbuster case. Kind of what I was saying earlier, where it's like, I don't really like these cases, but one or two, it makes it fun. Time Splitters. First Time Splitters, actually went through this one pretty recently for the first time also. Love the whole series. Good game. Time Splitters 2 did everything better. Yeah, not too much to say about it, just underrated series. They need to bring this back. This is another one that would actually benefit from online, for sure, because it's like Time Splitters 2, for instance, it's just like while you're playing the multiplayer, it's like you can have like 16 bots, and it's just absolute chaos. They don't make games like this anymore. Everything has to be like Call of Duty. Ooh. Nearing the end of PlayStation 2, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, never really got the... I played it a little bit, but I just remember the controls being complicated, and then, yeah, I don't know. I actually like the OG Ghost Recon a lot. Splinter Cell, I love Splinter Cell. This one's probably my favorite out of the original 3. Awesome game. They should do a remake of it. None of that Blacklist or Conviction bull. Like, just make a good stealth game. Double Agent, this was the last of the good Splinter Cell games. It's not that good, but it's not bad either. It's just like, it's okay. Chaos Theory was way better. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, this game is probably my most played PS2 game, honestly. Friends and I used to have sleepovers and we would just stay up all night just playing Tony Hawk 3. Great game. Skateboarding game. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. This is probably one of my least played of the Tony Hawk games. Played the hell out of 1, 2, 3, Underground 2. Not as much American Wasteland, but it was still good. But this one's a lot of fun for me to go back to nowadays, because I don't just have the entire thing memorized, you know? Shout out Tony Hawk. Great game. Trans World Surf. Twisted Metal Head-On. It's the PSP Twisted Metal game. It also comes with a little extra levels that were supposed to be in Twisted Metal Black but never made it. Yeah, I love Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal needs to make a comeback, and not like the PlayStation 3 one where they try to make it all weird. Just give me a good car combat game. The Warriors. Underrated game. This game is a frickin' blast. The Warriors is an awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. This game is just a fun brawler. One of the most fun things about it is that you can just go and launch yourself at enemies. Just like, woo! You just do that and you take out like 3 or 4 people at once, and it's hilarious every single time. Great game. Old Rockstar ruled. New Rockstar sucks. Grand Theft Auto 5 and what they've done to it, you know? 13 years now and there hasn't been another one since. It's like, Rockstar's just evolved into a Red Dead and a Grand Theft Auto company. Make more random games like that. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Awesome wrestling game. You can actually do an elbow drop onto someone from a helicopter. What more needs to be said? Like, that's awesome. That's cool. 13. Interesting first-person shooter game where it's kind of cel-shaded. It's not bad. Not amazing, but interesting nonetheless. All right, and then on to PlayStation 4.
It was a PS3.
Why would I get a PS3? The only reason to get a PS3, screw the whole free online thing. Everyone's like, yeah, but you get free online. Who cares? If you don't pay for online, shut up. The only reason that I feel like I would get a PlayStation 3 is for Metal Gear Solid 4, which I have yet to play. I still gotta play that one at some point with its hour-long cutscenes. And then Twisted Metal. But really, name one other reason to get a PlayStation 3.
Demon Souls.
That's on PS5 now. I'm not that excited to play Demon Souls. Alien Isolation, great game. Best Alien game that they've ever made. It's actually like you're playing the first movie. A lot of fun. Really long. This is actually, like, from what I remember, this is like a 30, 40-hour game. And it doesn't actually get started until like 4 hours in, and then all of a sudden it's just like, Alien. It's cool. Alien rules. Bloodborne, this is the game that sold me on the PlayStation 4. Like, I just refer to PlayStation 4 as the Bloodborne machine because great game. I need to go back through it. I haven't played it since I got the Plat. Yeah, awesome. Of course, you got the Crash Bandicoot trilogy. First 3 games, they're all awesome, except, well, no. 2 and 3 are awesome. The first one is fun until you get to the long road. There's like this one level where it's got a rope bridge, and something about this game, they the physics and they made it way harder than it normally is. That pissed me off to no end. Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3, good. Specifically 2. 2 is probably my favorite of the original trilogy. Dark Souls, one of the greatest games of all time. Probably the best of the original trilogy. Yeah, great game. If you haven't played Dark Souls, what the are you doing? Just don't be afraid of it, just go do it. You'll enjoy yourself. Alright, also, the only one of the Souls games in my mind that's better than the original Dark Souls is Sekiro. Oh, okay, oh man. No, okay, so if I had to rank my 3 favorite of the Soulsborne games, I would put Sekiro, then Bloodborne, then Dark Souls. Yeah, I've just played this game so much, but that's what makes it so good. Dark Souls 2, it's not as bad as everyone says, you know what I mean? In terms of the Souls games, it's definitely the worst, but in terms of like all of the video games coming out at the time, it's still better than like 90% of them, you know? So it's still worth playing, just don't expect something as good as the first one. Ancient Dragon is the best fight of all time, by the way. There was a period of time where Ernesto was so mad at me because it's just like he couldn't beat this one boss. Yeah, the Dark Souls guy couldn't beat the boss. Ernesto came over and he saw me do it and he was just like, no, that boss is, that's a gimmick fight. That boss is bull. And I in front of him. I haven't forgotten that. Dark Souls 3. I need to go back through this one. This is the one that I remember the least, honestly, because it came out shortly after I had gotten my PS4. And when I got my PS4, first thing I did was I just played hella Bloodborne. And then going from Bloodborne to this, I wasn't as interested, you know what I mean? I didn't get the plat or anything like that. Just kind of burnt out, you know? Still really good. From what I remember, better than 2, but not as good as the first one. From what I remember also is the world in this one, pretty circular, you know? It's like the thing that was so good about the first Dark Souls is that the map was literally just like it's so crammed onto itself, and that's what made the world interesting. But yeah. Dead Rising, great game. I love this game. Really want to play the Dead Rising remake that came out. Really hard game, actually. Time constraints are a bit of a but once you get the hang of it, it's a lot of fun. Dead Rising 2, another great game. Never forgive Ernesto for this one. Never forgive this for this one. So we were playing this game co-op, and we were going throughout the entire game, and then there was like a weekend or something like that where I couldn't play. And what do you think Ernesto goes and does? He goes and he beats the game without me. And then I'm like, all right, Ernesto, well, what the gotta, like, do you want to help me beat the game? And he's like, no, I don't want to play Dead Rising 2 anymore.
I beat it.
Yeah, great game. Not as good as the first one, but at the same time, it's still really good. It's hard to explain. Something about the first one, it just had an aura around it that was really good. This one, they made it so it's more playable. Like if you die, you can start over, keep your level and all that. And it's really funny.
Tricycle.
Yeah, I was just about to say that too. I just remember there being a time where I was like, when we were playing it before this guy goes and frickin' beats the game without me, we were playing and I was surrounded by zombies and I was just getting like zombies just eating my face, you know? And I'm just sitting there screaming for Ernesto to help me. And then I look to the side and I just see this guy Ernesto just coming around the and slowly on a tricycle, just like squeaky, 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 squeaky. And I'm just like, yo, mother, help me. And he just like squeaks away. Yeah. Memories you don't forget. I still hold a grudge to that.
And the elevator music.
Oh, the music, that's another thing. The music in Dead Rising, top notch. Awesome. EDF 4.1, it's more EDF. I still like 2017 the most, probably just because completing the game actually feels possible, whereas this one, they added so much more that it's like, good luck trying to 100% this game. But yeah, it's awesome. It's you could basically fight Godzilla, like numerous Godzillas at once. Good game, good game. Elden Ring, great game. After like Dark Souls, like Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, I think I'd probably put Elden Ring as my next favorite. They did reuse a couple bosses too many times. It's awesome. It was a lot of fun the first week that this came out because me and all my coworkers were sitting there playing it and everyone had their own story as to what was going on. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm here fighting this boss. And my friend would just be like, yeah, I went and I found this one treasure chest and it teleported me to the other side of the map. And everyone's just like, what the f are you talking about? Yeah, awesome game. Fallout 4. I actually really like this game. A lot of people about it, and I get it, because they removed a lot of the individuality from Fallout with this one. It's like, instead of being able to see exactly what your character's gonna say, you're kind of gonna say the same thing. You just kind of get to choose your mood about it. Do you want to like sound super agreeable, sound like kind of cocky? So that was always kind of stupid. I hope they fix that with the next Fallout. I actually really liked the base building in this game, and I spent most of my time playing this just building the ultimate base, just because, I don't know, I want to be a wanderer in the wasteland, just create my own home. Good game. I think it's worth playing. Grand Theft Auto 5, again, it's awesome, but not what GTA Online has turned into some stupid bull. I'm excited for GTA 6. Of course I'll play it. I don't know, it's hard to go back to this one, honestly. Just, I don't know. Great single player also. It's a lot of fun on the PS4 because you can go first person, and I'll never forget me and my friend just running around with a hammer in first person, just clobbering people. All right, Monster Hunter World. Love Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter World rules. There's a lot of things that they casualized about the series with this one. Ernesto's back there just like, but it's the truth for all you OG Monster Hunter fans, but it's still really good, you know? Hundreds of hours put into this game. I'm excited for the next one. I got a lot to say about Overwatch. I could make a whole video about Overwatch. I used to love Overwatch. And Overwatch 2 destroyed all of that. Yeah, I could about this one. It's just a fun game. At least it was a fun game. Now you can't play it anymore because it's Overwatch 2 and Overwatch 2 is bull. But what really pisses me off also is they recently came out with an Overwatch Classic game mode, but it's only a limited time event. Why? Why? Like, if they were honestly, if they just released Classic mode permanently, like just had it so I could play like OG Overwatch all the way up to Sigma, it's like, I'd probably still be playing because it's genuinely a fun shooter. But it's pisses me off now. Raiden 5. This is a cool game. Raiden rules. Shmups forever. Ratchet and Clank. Really good remake. The graphics are awesome. I'm just kind of surprised I don't have any more of the Ratchet and Clank games anymore. I definitely played through them all. It's good. Okay. Oop. Red Dead 2. Hey. I know. Red Dead 2. I want to replay this game actually. I haven't played it since it first came out. Funny story about this. So I'm in a band and me and my friends were playing a show. It was the night that Red Dead 2 was coming out. And we played our set, you know, and it's just like I'm outside talking with everyone and I'm like, hey, you guys, I'll be right back. And I just quickly drove over to GameStop, picked up Red Dead 2, went back to the show, and I'm just walking around the show just like, sup guys, I got Red Dead 2, and everyone's like, you got Red Dead 2? What the f? Oh my god. Good game, I want to replay it. Probably on Xbox just so I could get achievements because I'm an idiot like that. I'll take Xbox over PlayStation. The best. If you haven't played Sekiro, it's awesome. I almost, like, I don't know if they'll ever do it, but I think it'd be sick if they could come out with a Sekiro 2 or something like that, and they included just like a 1v1 multiplayer. I don't know exactly how it would work, but I feel like that could be a lot of fun. Skater XL. 1 second, let me add to the pile. Skater XL. It's very similar to Session, but I think I'll take Session over this one. But at the same time, it's a lot of fun. And this game was basically made by a bunch of skaters that were pissed that EA wasn't coming out with Skate. And then so they released this game. And then, of course, like the same month that this game's coming out, EA's like, hey, we're gonna start working on Skate. Now that we see, and it's just like, EA. Yeah, good game. Left thumbstick controls your left foot, right thumbstick controls your right foot. Good skating simulation. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Good. Not as good as Stick of Truth in my mind. Stick of Truth felt very complete, this one. You can tell they kind of like, they left a lot of stuff out for DLC, and I don't think the DLC ever actually came out. But still, it's really funny. I love South Park. Spider-Man on PlayStation. Oh my god, this disc is... Good game. It's just another like superhero open world game. If you played one open world game, you kind of played them all at this point. Very short, but at the same time, very contained, very precise in what it wants to do. Probably the best Spider-Man game. Spyro Trilogy, all 3 are awesome. Can't go wrong. I'll actually take Spyro over Crash Bandicoot. I think it's aged better. Stardew Valley, great game. I think it's pretty cool to have it on PlayStation. Really good game. Tetris Effect, best Tetris game that I've played in a long time. I mean, it's Tetris, you can't go wrong. Yeah, it's just cool. It's like psychedelic Tetris, nice music. Evil Within, the best Resident Evil game that was never Resident Evil. I'm pretty sure it was made by the creator of Resident Evil 4. Really hard, a lot of fun. Better than the second one in my mind. Second one was still good, but they kind of tried to make it open and it doesn't have the same flow. The Last of Us, overhype killed this game for me. It's a very good game, but it's like I expected way more out of it. It's interesting, but it just really wasn't fun to play, you know what I mean? And I never even got around to playing the second one, which is pretty surprising to me, but yeah, I don't want to bash this game, but don't overhype. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Oh, sick. Classic. And that's it for this wall. Let's move on to, hey, it's over here. Or well, since we're looking at this, I might just show you some of the things that I think are pretty sick that aren't video game. I've got an Australian copy of the Road Warrior. Cool. All right, now we can go on to video games. Sorry, I just wanted to flaunt my Australian Road Warrior. Sunscreen, always use sunblock. Extra controller for Super Nintendo. I went ahead and I found myself an LED mouse for Mario Paint. It's hard to find the original mouse anymore, and even then, they never really worked that well. So this is the Nintendo Collection. I got a lot. Start out with my favorite game of all time, Earthbound. Been a fan of this game since I was like 5. I remember my friend just bringing it over one day and we were playing it, and it's been burned in my head ever since. And the funniest thing about this is it still has the $17.99 sticker on it that I bought it for. Nowadays I think it goes for like $300, $350 according to price charting. Yeah, love this game. Mystic Quest. A lot of people hate on this game. Me and my brother, we actually got this game from someone who was babysitting us when we were like 6 years old. And he was like, oh man, this game's too hard, I don't understand it. But we were able to beat it. That guy's just an idiot. I don't know. It's the easiest RPG of all time. Toy Story. Good game. Really hard game. Donkey Kong Country 3. Probably my least favorite of the original trilogy, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun to go back to now because like, if you 100% this game, you can actually get a helicopter and then you can find like a magical banana bird. I know you're probably being like, what the that? But yeah, no, this game, all 3 are really good. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, I believe this was a launch title for Super Nintendo. Very hard game, but cool to have. Fun game. NBA Jam, classic. Yellowing on that. I don't know if you could play as Bill Clinton in this one, because I know in one of them you could play as Bill Clinton. Ken Griffey Jr.'s Winning Run. Actually, like, I'm very nostalgic for this game. Me and my brother used to play this all the time. We always thought it was really funny whenever you strike someone out, like there's a chance that they'll just take their bat and snap it in half. It's a very low chance, but whenever it happens, we would always crack up. And I actually miss sports games like this because I remember I had a friend come, like I would just have friends come over and we would just play this game because it's like you could explain how to play this game within like 5 seconds. Nowadays, every sports game has to be a simulation, and it's like, it kind of just make a toy, make a fun toy of a game, you know what I mean? They don't do that anymore. F-Zero, good game. Home Alone. Home Alone. This game sucks, but I love this game at the same time. I've beaten this game many times. I used to borrow this game from one of my friends growing up, and yeah. Good game. Not really. Super Bomberman, great game. This is like probably my favorite of all the Bomberman games. I remember growing up always seeing this game in like the big box at video game stores because I'm pretty sure it came with like the 4 score that allows you to play 4-player. Bomberman rules, especially this one. It's like just good fun. Mystical Ninja, very hard game. I never got to play this one too much. I got this one later. Cool to have though. Yeah. Kirby Superstar, the greatest Kirby game ever made. Sorry, it just made me think of another story involving Nesto that kind of pisses me off to this day. So this is, again, the best Kirby game ever made. I was sick one time as a kid, and I went and I rented this from the game store, and Blockbuster. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun to go back to. Kirby's Dream Land 3 is also really good, and I don't think I have that one because someone, this guy over here, Nesto, he had a copy of it, and he sold it instead of offering it to me, which I would have bought it off you, but you didn't even offer it. And now it's like a $150 game that I would have bought off Ernesto, but no.
Time has passed. Moment's gone.
Earthworm Jim 2, weird game, fun game, really hard game. No idea who S. Purcell is. This one's good. I like the first one more. Really funny. Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim. I used to have like action figures of Earthworm Jim growing up. Another really hard game, but it's a lot of fun. Earthworm Jim is just one of those characters that just kind of died over time. I never got the chance to play Earthworm Jim 3 or 3D, whatever you want to call it, but love this game. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. This game rules. Super hard, but I remember I got this game, I think, for like my 8th birthday, and I love this game. It's got really cool co-op, but I remember as a kid, my brother never wanted to play co-op with me in this game because I was an item hog and I would just get every single item and then he would just be left with work done. And I would have like tomatoes, grenades, or soda grenades, like, yeah. Awesome game. Can't recommend it enough. Super Mario Kart, awesome game. What needs to be said about Mario Kart, you know? One of the greatest games ever made. Greatest platformer, for sure, in my mind. I don't think it's been topped. Maybe some would say Donkey Kong Country 2. That could be argued. But Mario World 1 is just classic. Speaking of Donkey Kong Country, this is the very first video game I ever owned. And this is still the same copy too. I just remember I was taking a shower and my mom just like knocked on the door super hard and she's like, "John, get out of the shower, we have Nintendo." And I was like, "What?" And I go out and yeah, sure enough, Donkey Kong Country. Oh man, and I just remembered. So back in the day, whenever you would buy used games, sometimes they would come with like a complete file on it, you know, where you had access to every single level. And that was a godsend for us like little kids. Because when I was like 5 or 6, this game was hard as you know. This copy, it had I think it was a rental copy, and it had every single level like already unlocked. For whatever reason, my mom went and took it to the game store for them to erase the save file. And so I came home from school one day and the game was cleared and I was pissed. I was like, Tetris Attack, one of my all-time favorite puzzle games. Underrated. Top Gear, ooh, Top Gear. Really good racing game. This was one of the first games that I ever owned on Super Nintendo, and it still holds up. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like Outrun. Yeah, good. Very simple game, but that's all you need. SimCity. I still go back to this game all the time because I've never actually gotten the Megalopolis, which is 500,000 people. I've got a file right now where I believe I've got 489,000, so I'm really close, but I can't get that last 11,000, and I have no more room. That's one of those things. I don't know if I'll ever actually do it, but I've put so much time into the Super Nintendo SimCity. Super Street Fighter 2, in my mind, it's the greatest version of the greatest fighting game. I feel like after this, they started adding like combo bars and all this kind of stuff, like gauges that don't need to exist. Like, just keep it like that. Super Strike Eagle, another game I had as a kid. My dad was an F-14 fighter pilot, so when he saw this game, he had to go ahead and buy it. Just loves flying. So I just remember always watching him play this one. Really hard too. Mega Man X, never played this game in my life. Yeah, I have nothing to say about this one.
That's a lot.
No, I've beaten that. I love that game. It's the only one that I have though. It's like I've been trying to find Mega Man X2, but 2 and 3 are both really expensive. 2's not as expensive as 3, but 3's like $200 and it's like, eh. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, one of the greatest games of all time. This might be my favorite Zelda game out of all of them. I remember playing this when I was a kid. This was my first Zelda game, by the way. Turtles in Time, awesome. One of the best beat 'em ups of all time. Mortal Kombat 3. This is probably my favorite of the old school Mortal Kombat games to go to and play with friends, because who the good at Mortal Kombat 3? You know what I mean? It's like you meet people that are like, yeah, I'm good at Mortal Kombat 2, but 3, it's got a run button. I don't know. This one's a lot. I don't like the fighting games like Blaze Blue, where it's just like if you own the game and then you have a friend come over and you try to play with them, you're gonna kick their ass 100% of the time. It's like, no, Mortal Kombat 3, I feel like everyone's kind of on an equal playing field, you know? No one, who's good at Mortal Kombat 3? I don't know. I'm sure someone out there is just like, what the Madden NFL 97. It's actually a good game. Grew up playing that one a lot. NBA Live 97. Another really good game. Again, old sports games, they used to make them fun, and nowadays it's just like they're not fun, they're simulations. Top Gear 2, not as good as Top Gear 1 in my mind, but it's really cool because you can like customize your car. Good game. Yoshi's Island, oh man. So when I was like 7 years old, I really wanted to get this game, and I remember going to Funko Land at the time, and I was like, I don't know, I was a stupid kid, and I was asking for Yoshi's Island, and the dude was just like, oh man, but if you get this game, you get 4 in 1, and he's talking about Mario All-Stars, so of course it's like the big cool kid talking to me just and convinced me to get Mario All-Stars instead of this, and it's like, at the end of the day, I'm glad that he did that because those games are legendary in their own right, you know, but this game's so expensive nowadays, I'm just like, well, it's not that expensive, but this is like Super Empire Strikes Back. This one is in great shape. I'm gonna get this one graded pretty soon. I never had this one growing up, but I had Super Star Wars growing up. It's really hard, but I actually got pretty good at it. This is said to be one of the hardest Super Nintendo games of all time, and I'd agree with them. If you can even get to level 3, like, you're a god. Pilot Wings, good game. Pilot Wings 64 was more fun in my mind. Mario Paint, classic, good game. I never could beat the Fly Swatter game, but it's cool. Super Punch-Out. This game is a freaking blast. I didn't have this one growing up, but I got this one a couple years back, and I swear for a couple months I would just continuously just turn on my console and try to like speedrun every single enemy in this game. Fighter, I guess you could say. Wish I had this one growing up. Really cool game. Still holds up. That's something that Nintendo needs to do. The Switch is awesome, but why have they not re-released the Nintendo Wii Punch-Out on the Switch? I would love that. Do that. Star Fox, I got this one, I believe, for like my 9th birthday from one of my friends growing up. And yeah, it's awesome. I'll never be able to beat this game on hard. The hard difficulty is hard. And I'll never forget, there was one time I was playing this on an emulator on like hard difficulty, and I actually thought that I was gonna beat it, and I got to the last stage, Venom, and it froze. And it was something to do with the ROM itself, where just for some reason, it would just freeze at this one spot. I feel like that was premonition. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. Again, it's hard to say if I think this or Super Mario World which one is the best platformer of all time. It's definitely in my top 5 games. Probably of all time, honestly. I got this one for my birthday also. I think I was 8 or 9. I was obsessed with games as a kid, you know. Hardest of all the Donkey Kong Country games, but great level design. And just the theme of pirates, you know. Contra 3, I love Contra. Contra 3 is awesome. Contra Hardcore for Sega Genesis is probably my favorite out of all of them. This one's still really good. Not as hard as everyone makes it out to be. Saturday Night Slam Masters, I actually never really played this one that much. I just got it because I have a 4 score and I know it's 4-player. NHL 97, again, old sports games were fun. Spawn on the Super Nintendo. Not that good of a game, but not a bad game. Got it for $2. Cool. Out of This World, awesome game. Pretty hard. Look this one up. This one, it's weird. It kind of has like Prince of Persia vibes. Like just in terms of like you need to go real slow, but also it's like you need to get the timing down. Very unique for Super Nintendo. Ultraman, I actually don't even know if I've played this actual copy. I think I found it at a Goodwill. Ultraman's sick, cool to have. Mech Warrior on Super Nintendo, cool to have, but this game is hard as for me at least. Mech Warrior. NBA Hang Time. This game, not a lot of people know about this game. It's the sequel to NBA Jam. You can play 4-player NBA Hang Time. Ridin' Trad, it's more riding rules. Not enough shmups on the Super Nintendo. Oh, I do still have it. Firepower 2000. Best shmup on the console, without a doubt. It's got co-op, someone can take control of a tank, the other person's flying around. It's a cool game, really hard. Goof Troop, fun co-op game. Yeah, Goof Troop. Go play this one. It's actually, it'll surprise you. Then we got Disney's The Lion King. This game is a lot of fun. It's really hard, but great game. Back when movie tie-in games were actually really good. And then of course I got my Super Game Boy. What game do I have? I got Hyper Load Runner in here. Oh, I forgot about the Game Boy games. A lot of Game Boy games to go through. And so that's gonna be the end of the Super Nintendo. Are you recording?
Yes.
Okay. So on to N64. Super nostalgic for the N64. One of my favorite consoles. A lot of bad games. I still prefer Super Nintendo over it, but N64 rules. Resident Evil 2 on N64. Still very impressed that this managed to get onto an N64 cartridge. It's actually one of the cooler versions because I'm pretty sure this game comes pre-built with like a randomizer, which is pretty unheard of for the time. Cool game. You'll see. WWF No Mercy, greatest wrestling game of all time. Me and my brother used to play this one all the time. They don't make them like they used to. Wrestling games nowadays kind of blow. Goemon's Great Adventure. This is actually a really cool game. One of the few side-scrollers on the system. Very expensive game. Then we've got GoldenEye. Great game. Again, I just beat this game on 00 Agent for the first time recently, and it still holds up. Yeah, what can be said about GoldenEye that hasn't already been said a million times? Great game. Love it. Wasn't allowed to play it as a kid growing up, but I was allowed to play The World Is Not Enough for some reason. Mario Party 2. Great game if you want to break your controller. Majora's Mask. Another killer game. I actually prefer Majora's Mask over Ocarina of Time. I've just beaten Ocarina so many times. It's more about the side quests, you know? Awesome. Snowboard Kids 2, another underrated gem. Very expensive game also. This is probably one of my favorite N64 games, Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. It's a crazy game. The story of it is really bizarre. but it kind of plays like a platformer slash Zelda. I mean, it's a really good game, underrated. Super Smash Brothers, just Super Smash Brothers. I actually really like this one. It's like after Melee, then they all followed the Melee formula of games, and I understand why, but like this one feels like its own thing. Really cool. Star Fox 64, banger. Turok 3, I've never beaten this one. I've beaten Turok 1 and 2. Turok 2 is hard. Cool, fine. Cool to have it. That one fell. Kirby 64, look at the shape of that one. It's an okay game. Nothing amazing in my mind. It's cool that you can make like a lightsaber, like you can combine items in this one. I just noticed on this that someone actually tried to someone took a black Sharpie and tried redrawing Kirby on it. Huh. Jet Force Gemini. Love this game. This is another one of my all-time favorites. I actually just finally beat this game for the first time this year. Awesome game. There's nothing else like it. The music is 10 out of 10. Awesome. Pokemon Snap. Good game. I remember being a kid going to Blockbuster and printing out my pictures on little stickers. Good. Superman 64, another of Ernesto's favorite games of all time. I don't know why he would think that, but I don't know. He's got bad taste in games, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why Ernesto would like Superman 64. Banjo-Kazooie, another great game. Yeah, just another collectathon. Really good. Mario Tennis, one of my favorite sports games on the console. Still holds up, a lot of fun to play. Mario Kart 64, another banger. Classic. Kind of hard to go back to nowadays, honestly, in my mind. I just feel like Mario Kart 8 is, honestly, it's really good, you know. Excitebike 64, this game's a lot of fun, but this game's hard as Bomberman 64, not as good as Super Bomberman, but still a really good game. Pilot Wings 64, better than Super Nintendo version. This was one of the first N64 games that my brother and I owned. It's actually pretty fun to go back to. Rainbow Six on N64. I'm really nostalgic for this game, and I still like this game. It's not that good, but I still like it. Honestly, it's like this game ends up being like a horror game at times, just because it'll be totally silent, and then there's just like random, like almost jump scare style sounds. I like it. Conker's Bad Fur Day, awesome game. My brother and I used to play this one so much that even to this day I catch my mom singing the Great Mighty Pooh song. What can be said about Conker's Bad Fur Day? Really expensive nowadays. Ocarina of Time, one of the greatest games of all time, yada yada yada, this game rules. If you haven't played Ocarina of Time, what the hell? Go play it. It's on everything nowadays. Diddy Kong Racing, I like this one more than Mario Kart 64. It's got a single player campaign, there's more variety. The level design is really good. They never did come out with Donkey Kong Racing, and I know I've seen that ad millions of times over the years. Super Mario 64, awesome game, great platformer. I've completed this game many times. Yeah. Bomberman Hero. This game's better than Bomberman 64. It's a little bit more of like a single player adventure than the other one, but just the level design, it's actually a fun game. Go play it. Aero Fighters Assault. It's not a shmup, but it feels like a 3D shmup. It's okay. It's just a flying game, you know. It's okay. Snowboard Kids 1, not as good as Snowboard Kids 2, but awesome game. Used to stay up with my friends playing this one all the time. Very expensive. Turok 2, very nostalgic for. This game's gory as cerebral bore is awesome. Very hard. There's only like 4 levels in the game, and I just beat it for the first time recently. Lair of the Blind Ones is one of the hardest levels that I've ever played in any video game. That level. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, another skateboarding game. This one's super sick. I can kind of speed run this game. It's a lot of fun for me to just go in there and try to beat the whole game in like 20 minutes. It's not hard to do, but it's a lot of fun every time. Great soundtrack too. Freaking Dead Kennedys, Suicidal Tendencies. World Is Not Enough. Not as good as GoldenEye, but kind of more creative in its own way. It's fine. Probably no real reason to go back to it nowadays if you've never played it, but yeah. Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron's super sick. Got this one for Christmas one year. Yeah, probably one of the best Star Wars games to ever come out, in my opinion. F-Zero X. This game rules. Oh my god, that's nostalgic. property of Blockbuster. Another one I got for Christmas one year. This game is, it's fast as hell and it's a lot of fun, even today. I would like for them to come out with a new F-Zero game, but I don't feel like they ever really will. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. A lot of people say that this one's better than the first one. I still prefer the first one. Something about the simplicity of it. Whereas this one, it's like they're just, I don't know. Still like an amazing game nonetheless. Blast Corps. This game, when I was a kid, I was not a fan of it, but going back and playing it now, it's fun. It's weird. You just go around, you just like destroy buildings and all that, just escort missions. This is a weird one. Load Runner 3D. It's good. Robotron 64. If you've ever played Robotron, this game is just the N64 version of it. And it's actually kind of cool because you can plug in 2 controllers and use both joysticks, kind of like dual joystick, dual controls early on. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, it's cool. South Park Rally. This game sucks, but it's South Park, so I have to own it. Harvest Moon 64. Got this one really late. I hear it's great. I don't think I'll ever really get into it. I'd rather play Stardew Valley at this point. Harvest Moon. Star Wars Battle of Naboo. Not as good as Rogue Squadron. Not even close. Still really cool. Oh, do I have Star Wars Episode 1 Racer? I don't know. Yoshi's Story. Kind of a basic game, but at the same time, I'm real nostalgic for it. It was a lot of fun for me as a kid, just going around and trying to get all the different levels or different endings. Yeah. Ooh, Blitz 2001. This and Tecmo Super Bowl are like the greatest football games ever made. This game is still to this day awesome. Blitz. Yeah. Perfect Dark. Not as good as GoldenEye. I know a lot of people will argue with me about that. Still an amazing game, but GoldenEye just got like the level design and all that right. There are quite a few moments in this game where you're just gonna get stuck and be like, what do I do? Why is nothing happening? But yeah, it's still awesome. Great multiplayer. Great multiplayer. Pokemon Stadium. I guess this game pack belongs to Lara. It's kind of hard to see it. But yeah, classic game. You just battle in 3D. It's cool. Toy Story 2. I don't think I've ever really played this one. I don't even know where this one came from. I don't remember buying this one. Shadow Man. This game I'm not a fan of, but it looks really cool. Man. Forsaken 64. This game is freaking weird. It's like a first-person flying shooter. It's not bad. It's weird, you know? 1080 snowboarding. Love this game. Classic N64 right here. I remember a lot of the tricks being super hard. Like I've still to this day never actually done a 1080 because the controls are like, press R, do a 360 on the control stick. Press Z, do another 360 on the control stick. Press Z again. Too much. But at the same time, it's still fun. Killer soundtrack. Really good soundtrack. Command & Conquer on N64. Command & Conquer rules, but this version doesn't. Armorines. I always wanted to like this game more than I actually did. It looks cool. Just Armorines. Project Swarm. The best bug killing game on the console is definitely Jet Force Gemini. Not this or that Body Harvest. NFL Blitz, the original. Not as good as 2001, but still sick. Army Men Sergeant Heroes 2. Sergeant Heroes 1 was better, in my mind. Classic. Whatever happened to the Army Men games? Turok, awesome. Just kill dinosaurs. What more needs to be said? Quake, great game. I actually beat Quake for the first time like a year or two ago. This version sucks, but the game itself, awesome. I used to have Doom 64 too. I don't know where it went. Chef's Love Shack, not very good, but me and my friends used to play the hell out of this game. It's just like a trivia game and it just asks random questions like, I don't even know. It's interesting. It's fun. Especially if you like South Park. Speaking of South Park, this game is dog. It's a first-person shooter where you can go around and like throw snowballs at people and like turkeys and all that. You can pee on the snowballs to make them more effective. Funny, but not good. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. This game still holds up. This game is a blast. I got it on my Switch and just playing through it again, it's like still feels really fast. One of the best Star Wars games in my mind. Definitely the best Episode 1 game. We got Duke Nukem 64. Duke Nukem 64 is just Duke Nukem, but on an N64. It's awesome. Cruisin' USA. Cruisin' USA. This version I actually don't really remember playing too much, but I mean, Who didn't play a bunch of Cruisin' back in the arcades back in the day, like Cruisin' World, Cruisin' USA? It's an arcade classic. Mission Impossible. I don't know. I don't even remember buying this one. I never played it, but I have it. Oh, then in my console right now, of course I got Donkey Kong 64. A lot of people hate this game. Too many collectibles or whatever. I love this game. It's like peak collectathon game. Got this for Christmas back in either 99 or no, it was definitely 1999. Love this game. It's awesome. Oh, and then I got one last Super Nintendo game, but I do also own Final Fantasy III. Great game. And that does it for N64. I have to put all these away. On to Nintendo Switch. I got a bunch of them. Shit. Advance Wars 1 and 2 reboot, really good. I wish they would do the same for the DS games. Days of Ruin was awesome. Akai Katana on Switch, awesome shmup. Crazy Bullet Hell. I've put a lot of time into that one. Animal Crossing New Horizons. I love Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing's a blast in my mind. This one's awesome, but at the same time, one of my favorite things about Animal Crossing games is that you could go back to your like little town or whatever years later and see what's changed. Well, with this one, nothing is gonna change unless you basically approve it. Like, the only way that new villagers will move in or out of your island is like, if you're talking to them, they'll say like, hey, do you want me to move? And then if you just say no, then they won't move. I already know exactly how my town is gonna be once I start this one up, whereas like the original Gamecube one, like, changes. Good game though, but I want them to change it for the next one. Captain Toad, fun. Catherine Full Body, awesome game, really hard. I like the original more. Dark Souls Remastered, who doesn't want to lose their taking a what you can do with this version. Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 3 with, ooh, wait. Featuring the soft engine in HD Rumble. I put a lot of time into that one too. Haven't played this one yet, but I know I'm going to. Deadly Premonition. I've heard a lot of crazy things about this game. I'm excited to play it. Death Smiles 1 and 2. Death Smiles 1 and 2. Another Bullet Hell from, I believe, Cave. I think it's Cave. Bullet Hell. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I actually really like this game. Really hard, but it's cool because every level has its own like little quirks to it, you know what I mean? Unlike the new Super Mario Bros. Games where every kind of level just kind of feels similar. This one, every single level has its own like little gimmick, so it's cool. Ooh, classic game. Fight Crab. Fight Crab. Play as a crab and you fight other crabs. Fight Crab. G Darius HD, another shmup, really cool one. Hyrule Warriors, I actually really enjoyed it. I kind of wish that there was more to it, but like you could play this game forever. There's so much this game, but at the same time, I feel like whenever you're playing the stages in the original Dynasty Warriors games, more happens. Luigi's Mansion 3, definitely better than Luigi's Mansion 2, but not as good as Luigi's Mansion 1. I need to go back and replay this one. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, great game. One of the best Mario Karts that they've ever made. Potentially the best, honestly. Mario vs. Donkey Kong, good game. I really love Mario on the OG Game Boy, and this is kind of like a throwback to it. It's the remake of the Game Boy Advance, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Metroid Dread, this game rules. This game's hard, and Nintendo doesn't really make hard games. I love this game. I've gone through this game maybe like 4 or 5 times. Really good. Metroid Prime Remastered. This game is great, but I just went through this game like on the Switch for the first time recently, and I missed 1 scan, so now I have 99% completion. That pissed me off. Monster Hunter Rise, good game. Not as good as World, which wasn't as good as like Monster Hunter 4. Not bad by any means, but just more Monster Hunter, just on Switch. New Pokemon Snap, this like pretty honestly. Yeah. No More Heroes 3, this game's crazy. Go play this game. It's like absolutely insane. Beginning of the game, you get this long cutscene where it feels like a Miyazaki anime, and then all of a sudden, just a lot of dead bodies. It's weird. This is stupid. I don't even know why I actually bought this, because it doesn't even come with the game. There's no game. It just comes with the code. And it's not even Overwatch anymore. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Classic, one of the greatest RPGs ever made, honestly. It's just a great game. I'm excited to play through this one again. And then Pikmin 1 and 2. I like Pikmin 1 more than Pikmin 2. It's a lot of fun to speedrun, but yeah, good collection to have. Pikmin 3, really good game. This one was originally released on the Wii U. This is probably the most complex of all the Pikmin games. Like there's just, you really need to multitask with this one. And then Pikmin 4. This game surprised the hell out of me. I thought it was just gonna be kind of bland or whatever, but no, this game, it has the old school Nintendo feel. And not too many games have that anymore. This game, it's like, it has charm. It's really good. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, I like the original one. I kind of like all the Pokemon games, kinda. Some of them I dislike more than others. Yeah, this one's okay. Let's Go Pikachu. This one, see, this is one where it's like, it's technically good, but at the same time, it felt like it was for babies, which I know it is, but it's like Fisher-Price, my first Pokemon game. Pokemon Sword, worst in the series in my mind. Just, they haven't done good on Switch. The open world area was cool, but just not very good. Going through this one now, this game is not good. It's like, it's Pokemon, so Pokemon in itself is fun, but it's just, this game's broken. Splatoon 3, this was my first time ever getting into one of the Splatoon games. It's good, it's cool, it's fun. Stubbs the Zombie, this game's weird. I really like this game, but at the same time, the second half of the game just blows because all of a sudden you hit a difficulty spike and it's not fun anymore. It's just, you'll be like 20 minutes into a level and then you have to all of a sudden restart, like once you die. But I still love it, you know. Mario All-Stars or 3D All-Stars, really cool. I wish it would have came with Super Mario Galaxy 2. This game was a lot of fun, Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. First time playing this, I never owned a Wii U. Good game. Really like it. Super Mario Brothers Wonder. This game was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. This is probably my favorite 2D Mario game since Mario World. It had that sense, the sense of wonder about it. What do you know? Definitely should play it if you have a Switch. Mario Maker 2. Funny story about Mario Maker 2. Everyone, you make your own Mario level. During the pandemic, I was playing this game religiously and a bunch of my levels actually popped off where all of a sudden it's like I signed in one day and my levels had like 80,000 plays and was in the top 10 most played levels for the week. And so I got like all these medals and all of that. So in my mind, it's like, I won. I beat Mario Maker 2. And you can't actually do that, but I got those medals. Not you.
Okay.
Me. Might include a code so you could play the levels. We might. Super Mario Odyssey, great game. Super Mario RPG, awesome. One of the best like RPGs. Grew up playing this game. It's interesting though because I remember on Super Nintendo this game took me forever to beat. And then on this I beat it in like 10 hours, maybe. Maybe I'm just older and I don't know. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. This one's cool because this is just a remake basically of the first two Monkey Ball games and those are the best ones. Smash Bros. Ultimate, yeah, it's Smash Bros. It rules. Breath of the Wild, good game. Not as good as everyone makes it out to be in my mind. In my mind, it's like, it's just Nintendo's version of making an open world game, which I had already played a million open world games up to this point. It's really good. It's like a Nintendo version of those, but at the same time, it's like kind of similar. Like it's got that Assassin's Creed vibe where it's just like, oh, I need to go over here, go to the tower, unveil the map. Then you get a lot of different waypoints, complete the waypoints, go to another tower. Next on Switch, I got the Link's Awakening. Actually a really good remake. I kind of like this one more than the OG just because the OG one doesn't really, you can get lost super easily. This one, it's good. Great game. Skyward Sword HD. Actually, so I really enjoyed this game. A lot of people bashed on it when it was on the Wii just because of the motion controls, but like playing it on this, it's good. The soundtrack's really good. Explains a lot of the Zelda story, like good one. Tears of the Kingdom. This is the only Zelda game at this point that I haven't beaten. Like I keep trying to go back to it, but for some reason it's hard for me to bring myself to want to keep playing this because it feels like DLC for Breath of the Wild, which is fine, but it feels like I've done it before already. Still good, still really good. And then we got Wild Guns Reloaded, Wild Guns is an awesome game, originally on Super Nintendo, but this version just makes it a little bit easier to play. Good game. So that's it for Switch. Moving on to Nintendo DS. Not too many DS games, but I tell you, the one that I'm missing is I'm missing Animal Crossing Wild World. So if anyone wants to send me a copy, no, I'm joking. Battle of Giants Dragons. I've never played this one. I think this is my ex's game and it just kind of got left here. Pretty sweet, I guess. Brain Age. I got this one. I got this one for $1 at Goodwill, and I went ahead and I played it, and I think it said that. I think it said that my brain age was 18, which is like the lowest grade that you can get. So basically, I beat this game within a minute. Then we got Brain Age 2, same thing. Brain Age is fun, easy game, just, you know, IQ games, IQ puzzles. Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow. This one was awesome. I really like this one. It's weird because like I like a lot of the Metroidvania style castle games past Symphony of the Night more than Symphony of the Night. Like I like this one more than Symphony of the Night. Check it out, really good. Portrait of Ruin. This one, I actually thought this one was super sick. This one you go through a bunch of different areas. You go through like Egypt and all that. It's really cool. More Castlevania, Metroidvania style. I guess I got this one for 15 bucks about 10 years ago. Now it's not expensive, but it gained some value, some price, you know. Order of Ecclesia. This is the only one that I haven't actually beaten. It's fun though because it kind of takes the Metroidvania style, but it turns it so that it's like kind of level based. It's really difficult. So one of the greatest RPGs of all time, Chrono Trigger. I got this one. Since I have this, I don't exactly feel like I need it on Super Nintendo, but at the same time, it'd be nice to have it on Super Nintendo. And it's pretty cool too because it comes with this poster that I haven't opened in a long time that I don't want to rip. Oh my god. Yeah. If you haven't played Chrono Trigger, like, it's a great game. One of the best games ever. Like, people aren't lying whenever you hear anything about this game. If you get the chance, definitely play it. Again, Earthbound's my all-time favorite game, but objectively, Chrono Trigger I'd say is probably a better game overall. Contra 4. This one is hard as It's like the other Contra games I'm pretty good at. This one's insane. One of the cooler DS games in my mind. Feel the Magic. This game's fun. It's a lot of like just weird touchscreen based mini games, but the story's crazy. It just gets off the walls really fast. One of the earliest DS games also. I like it. This game's weird. Henry Hatsworth and the Puzzling Adventure. It's like half puzzle game, half platformer, and whenever you play the puzzle game, it affects the platforming part of the game. My brother gave me this one. Very unique game. Very cool. Phantom Hourglass. I played this one as a kid and I didn't like it very much, and then I went back and I played it a couple years ago and I actually really enjoyed it. Definitely takes a little while to get used to the touchscreen controls, but I mean, it's fun. I liked it, yeah. Spirit Tracks. I think that I liked Spirit Tracks a little bit more than Phantom Hourglass. Something about manning the train, just different. There aren't too many games where you gotta just drive around in a train. I wonder if they'll ever go back and like do remakes of these. I don't know how they would do it, but it'd be interesting to see. Then I got the Mega Man Zero Collection. These games are hard as but they're really good. Yeah, I know they released it on Switch as well, but I've got this. And honestly, I've never liked the Mega Man Zero games nearly as much as like the Mega Man X games. They're still really awesome though. I tell you, I do want to get the Mega Man Battle Network collection that they came out with though. Those games are a lot of fun. Very underrated in my mind. This is a weird one, Picross 3D. If you see, you kind of chip away at the blocks and you make kind of like 3D puzzles. Picross is fun. It's kind of interesting, kind of like Sudoku, but a little bit different. SimCity Creator. I found this one at Goodwill for like $1 about a year ago. I'm pretty sure it's just like SimCity 2000 or SimCity 3000, but on DS. Skate It. This is a weird one. For being a handheld game, like a handheld skateboarding game, it looks really good. It's got a good soundtrack. Pretty cool. It's not terrible, which I was pretty surprised about. Space Invaders Extreme. It's Space Invaders. It's kind of just like psychedelic Space Invaders. And then Star Fox Command. This game, it's kind of like if you ever played Star Fox 2, which they officially released a couple years back. It's kind of like that, where it's like it's got a big map and you kind of just can guide the pilots around. You do use the touchscreen for controls, but this one I'm honestly not a big fan of, but it's not bad. It's fun. In case you guys don't know, all these games were alphabetized at one point. Then I got Animal Crossing on 3DS. This is probably my most played 3DS game. Back when I was in college, this game was my It's like something about it. I like this one more than New Horizons. I want them to make another game like this, honestly. There's just so much to do. If I was to put this in my 3DS game right now, it's like, it'd be fun to see what all has changed in my town naturally over the past like 3 years, you know, because I haven't played it in a while. Codename Steam, I bought this game for like $6 like a year after its release. Like no one bought it. It's fun, it's just like a tactics game, but it's like steampunk America. Interesting. Link Between Worlds, great game. If I wasn't nostalgic for A Link to the Past, this might be my favorite Zelda game of all time. It's very easy. And yeah, Link to the Past, it's just something about it, the art style and all that, but this is a great game. Honestly, one of the best Zelda games, without a doubt. Majora's Mask 3D, probably the best version of Majora's Mask that they ever made. The 3D works really well. They made it very easy to keep track of all the side quests and all that. Yeah, can't say enough good things about Majora's Mask. Then we got Ocarina of Time 3D, same thing. Same exact thing as Majora's Mask. It's like one of the best versions of this game to ever exist. Ocarina of Time 3D. Mario Kart 7, great game. I think in this one they made it so that you could actually like fly your cart around, and it's got really good online. I was a big fan of this one back in the day. This one I actually got pretty recently, like maybe a month or two ago. I found this just randomly, I think at GameStop, and I was just surprised to see a 3DS game, honestly. But yeah, Metroid Samus Returns. I've played The Return of Samus before, and this one seems to not only be like a remake, but like a complete reimagining of that game. It's really good. It's very similar to Metroid Dread, a lot of the same mechanics. Monster Hunter 3. This is the game that first got me into Monster Hunter. I've put hundreds of hours into this game. It was very difficult at the time too, because this one, it didn't have online or anything like that, and I didn't have the second extra joystick for the 3DS. So I had to play it all using the touch screen and all that, and it was really difficult. You have to like fight these underwater monsters, which a lot of people didn't like. I miss it. Yeah, I love Monster Hunter. This is a great game. This is the best of them all though. Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World's great, but it's no Monster Hunter 4. I bought this game for Ernesto because he said that he was gonna be down to play it with me, but he never did. He still has it too. But all jokes aside, this game is my favorite 3DS game of all time. One of my favorite games, honestly. And I wish that they would just come out with like a console version of this game. Yeah, Monster Hunter 4. Rules. Monster Hunter Generations. This is kind of like a greatest hits of Monster Hunter. It came out after Monster Hunter 4. It's still a great game. Maybe a little bit less creative. I wasn't a fan of the styles thing that they came out with for it. Still really good though. I didn't put as much time into that one. Pilot Wings Resort. Nintendo 3DS Pilot Wings. Kind of more of the same, but it's fun. It's a good time. Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. This was my first time ever going through Gen 3. Yeah, it was good. A lot of people say that there's too much water, but fuck 'em. And we got Pokemon Moon. This is probably my least favorite of the 3DS Pokemon games. Like the vibe of it is awesome, the whole Hawaiian theme. I don't know, it just didn't stick around with me as much. Pokemon Y. This was probably my favorite of all the 3DS Pokemon games. A lot of people disliked this line of games like X and Y. In my mind, the 3DS, like this was the best era for Pokemon because it was still completely handheld. They had like a really good online trading system, and it actually felt like completing your Pokedex, it was possible and doable on this one. Whereas like with the Switch games, they just made it like, I don't even think Sword and Shield you can get every Pokemon, so I don't know. I spent a lot of time into this one. Mario 3D Land. Love this game. This game's a blast. I've actually beaten this game numerous times. It's short and sweet. Short and sweet. Good game. Then I've got Super Mario Maker 3DS. This version, it's good. It's Mario Maker. But the biggest issue was that I felt like it really would have benefited from a better online system. It is what it is, you know, Mario Maker, it's cool. And then we got Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. I put a lot of time into this one, but it's funny because if you look at my stats list, like 99% of my playtime in this game is me playing as Ness, and that's it. For being a handheld Smash game, really good, really good. All right, and that's it for that. And now we move on to GameCube. 007 Agent Under Fire, good game. First time of James Bond games being on the next generation. I actually really enjoyed this one. Nightfire, it's basically the same as Agent Under Fire, but with better multiplayer. A lot of good times playing that one with friends. 1080 Avalanche, I didn't spend as much time playing this one. I love the 1080 on N64, so I had to pick it up. Animal Crossing, I love this game, but it doesn't really work for me too well because the battery in my GameCube is dead, so it doesn't keep time anymore. Yeah, I need to get my GameCube fixed. If anyone knows anyone that does like GameCube repairs, let me know. Bloody Roar, Primal Fury. Great fighting game. Bloody Roar should make a comeback. That'd be awesome. BMX Triple X. I have no idea why this game is available on the GameCube. It's basically like, if you ever played any of the Dave Mirra games, it's basically Dave Mirra 3, and then they realized that he was like, I don't want to tie my name to this, so they just released it as BMX Triple X, and it came with this sleazy ass poster. Rest in peace, Dave Mirra. OG Burnout, never played this one too much, but I saw it, picked it up. Custom Robo. This game is awesome. I really want to replay this one again sometime. It's a good RPG, you build your own robot and all that. Yeah, it's like I would love to play this one again. Me and my friend, we used to play this game and we would use an action replay to get all these banned like weapons and all that. Good memories. Then one of the greatest fighting games of all time, Def Jam Fight for New York. This game all of a sudden just jumped up in price a couple years back and now it's like a $250 game, but I guess I bought it for 10 bucks. Yeah, I played the out of this game growing up. I've still got my old save file. One of the best fighting games ever made, without a doubt. Def Jam Vendetta, one of the best wrestling games to ever come out, like post N64 era. This game is awesome, a lot of fun, a lot of over the top. And then Enter the Matrix. This is the version that I remember playing the most. 2 discs, got this for my birthday. Not that good, but I still love it, you know. Eternal Darkness. This is one of the greatest games on the entire console, one of the best horror games, period. Everyone always loses their for this one. It's really expensive. I still have the receipt when I bought it at Game Crazy for $3 back in 2007. Yeah, this game, it's a blast. Resident Evil is still really good. It's more of a puzzle game. This game is just genuinely fun. Evolution Skateboarding. This is one of the worst skateboarding games ever, but I gotta get it because skateboarding. Extreme G3. Not as good as Extreme G2 on N64. It's still cool. It's still really fast. Hyper bikes, you know. Freaky Flyers. This is kind of like a hidden gem on the console. Me and my old roommate, we used to play this one all the time. It's just kind of like a flying combat, you know what I mean? It's kind of like Mario Kart, but you're flying. Good game. Freedom Fighters. This game's really cool. It's just squad-based tactical shooting. Good story. Freestyle Street Soccer. It's just like NBA Street or something like that, but for soccer. A Blockbuster exclusive. Surprisingly fun. And then F-Zero GX, banger of a game. Everyone knows that. Really hard. Ever since this one, Nintendo kind of realized that they can't really top it in terms of F-Zero. It's like, where do they go from here? Just even re-release it, honestly. Gauntlet Dark Legacy, finally beat this one for the first time a couple years ago. It's a classic. Ghost Recon, this game is freaking sick. It's very similar to Rainbow Six, but just imagine Rainbow Six in the jungle, you know? It's fun. I like it a lot. Growing up, I really liked the Tom Clancy games. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. I love Godzilla. This one's awesome. One of the best Godzilla games ever made. And I don't think it was a launch title, but it came out really early into the GameCube lifespan. It's cool. Good fan service. Surprisingly, this is a good game. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Yeah, it kind of plays like a 3D Zelda game, honestly. Still surprised that I liked this game as much as I did. I haven't liked any of the other Harry Potter games since. Oh, I do have a Game Boy player. I've also got the Game Boy player disc. Kirby Air Ride, not a big fan of this game, honestly. It's just kind of too simple, you know? There's not much to it. It's fun for like maybe 30 minutes, and then you're like, I feel like I've done everything in this game. Twilight Princess, it's a good game. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. It's kind of hard to go back to, you know? It's like collecting all the orbs. It's a slow one. I remember it's a good game. Not my favorite. Wind Waker, I've had this one since the day it came out. And I remember even back then, one of my favorite 3D Zelda games. The story's awesome. If you haven't played Wind Waker, go do it. Do yourself a favor. Then we got Double Dash, same thing as before. Mario Kart rules. What more needs to be said? Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, one of the greatest golf games that I've ever played. I like it more than Mario Golf 64. And then Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion, a lot of fun. Pretty short. It's kind of like Resident Evil for kids. Short and sweet. Good game. Mario Power Tennis. I didn't like this one as much as Mario Tennis on N64, but it's still good. Just didn't click with me the same. Gotta have the Mega Man X collection. All 6 of them are really good in my mind. 6 probably being the weakest of them. Still cool to have, you know? Especially with how expensive those games are now. Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. I guess Kojima didn't like this game at all for some reason, but I don't know, it was the first Metal Gear Solid game I ever played and I thought it was freaking awesome. Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 2. Some of the best FPSs ever made. MLB Slugfest 2003. This is a fun one. It's just like Blitz, but for baseball, and you can just punch each other. It's good. NBA Street, NBA Street Volume 2. Again, it's just a good time. Then we got Blitz 2002. I actually didn't play this one too much. I like the older OG style Blitz games. Got Pikmin. Pikmin is great. That's probably my favorite of them. Pikmin 2, good. I don't like the cave system. It just ends up being kind of tedious. The OG Resident Evil. I completed Resident Evil for the first time recently. Great. Awesome. Resident Evil 0, not as bad as everyone says. I think I already said that. Yeah, those games used to terrify me when I was a kid. Resident Evil 4, one of the greatest games ever made. Simpsons Road Rage. It's just Crazy Taxi, but you're Simpsons. It's okay. Not terrible. Not great. I'd prefer Crazy Taxi over that, but it's fun, you know. The Sims on console, it didn't really work too well, but at the same time, I put a lot of time into it. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. This was the first GameCube game that I ever owned, and I put so much time into Chow. So much time into the Chow Gardens. Like, me and my friend, we printed out like binders worth of note on how to get like the best perfect stat Chow and all that. I don't know why. But yeah, hundreds of hours playing this game. Regardless of what people say, this is the last good 3D Sonic. Well, no, Sonic Generations was good, but this is better. Sonic Colors sucked. Splinter Cell, great. This is an interesting one, Space Raiders. I don't really know too much about it. The only reason I really got it was because I saw that it was a GameCube exclusive that I hadn't heard of. It's like Space Invaders, but it's 3D and you play as a dude on the ground with a gun. Soul Calibur 2, great. Can't go wrong with Soul Calibur, especially the one with Link. I mean, the one with Link was cool, and then you got the one with Spawn on Xbox, and then you got the dude from Tekken on PS2. Like, that's the worst version. Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. Not as good as the first one, but it was still really good, you know? Something about the level design in the first one just really stuck with me. This one was more jungly. SSX Tricky. Again, one of the greatest snowboarding games ever made. SSX 3, the greatest snowboarding game ever made. SSX on Tour. It's still good. It's still a lot of fun, but after SSX 3, going to this one, it's kind of weird. For some reason, games of the era tried to have this like kind of art style where they're trying to be like, I don't know, they're trying too hard to be like cool and punk, but it's like, it's okay. Still a lot of fun, but kind of weird. Star Fox Adventures, really good game. This is probably the best Zelda game well, one of the best Zelda games that's not actually Zelda, but it plays just like a Zelda game. Star Wars Bounty Hunter. This game is fun until it's not. It gets to a point where it just sucks. Where it's just like, what was it? You have to like poison this one dude and he's just escaping. It's a nightmare. Never beat it, but still cool to have. Rebel Strike, Rogue Squadron 3. This one's cool because also it comes with Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader, but in a co-op mode. And that was never available in the original Rogue Leader, so yeah. And this one's also, it's not as good as Rogue Leader. There are missions where you have to like run around and those are just kind of simple. But it's cool. Mario Sunshine. Finally 100% this game for the first time a couple of years back with the 3D All-Stars Collection. It's definitely a rushed game, but I mean, it's not as hard to do as everyone says it is. I still have fond memories of that game. Almost done with the GameCube. Monkey Ball 2, my favorite Monkey Ball game. It's, you know, it's Monkey Ball. Melee. Tales of Symphonia, best RPG on the GameCube other than like maybe this and Paper Mario. Best Tales game in my mind. Definitely recommend it. Time Splitters 2, awesome game. One of my favorites. Future Perfect, another one of my favorites. Me and my friends just put so much time into Time Splitters. I've still got the memory cards with all the levels that we made it like growing up. Again, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, can't go wrong. Tony Hawk 4, Underground, Underground 2. And those ones, I can't say enough. They're all awesome. This is where the series started to go a little bit downhill for me. They tried making it open world, but and like reducing load times, but it just didn't work in my mind. It's still good, but this is the last like decent Tony Hawk game. Beautiful Joe 2, a lot of fun. Beautiful Joe kind of, I feel like it's been forgotten about. And Beautiful Joe 2, it's just more of the same, but really good. Then we got Wave Race Blue Storm. Wave Race Blue Storm. It's Wave Race on GameCube. Really good graphics. The water physics are awesome. And yeah, good game. I like the GameCube a lot. Is it gonna fall? It fell. Let's go. Let's see if this causes more to fall. And all that's left now is the Game Boy Collection, which we'll get to in just a second. Time to go through the Game Boy Collection from hell. First off, let me show you my Game Boys. Got the OG here. Got the Pocket. The SP, definitely the best Game Boy ever made. And then for my 3DS, I've got the Link Between Worlds one. Super sick. Game Boy printer. Got my link cable. And then for Game Boy Advance games, not too many. I've got like Castlevania Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, Aria of Sorrow. All great games. Got Mother 1 and 2 and Mother 3, and both of these do have the English patches on them, so you can actually play through them. Mother 3, very good game. I wish it would have been released here. Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. And then for some reason, I have Gremlins Stripe versus Gizmo. Actual Game Boy games now. Tiny Toon Adventures, Montana's Movie Madness. Bah! Paperboy. Yoshi's Cookie. Spider-Man 3. Cosmo Tank. This game's actually cool. Mega Man. Earthworm Jim. Rugrats Time Travelers. Pokemon Gold. Super Battle Tank. Metroid 2. Mega Man 2. Spider-Man and X-Men. Bust-a-Move 4. Wario Land 3. Rocket Power Getting Air. Got too many Game Boy games. I got a Game Boy camera. Super Mario Deluxe. Yoshi. Spider-Man 2. Harvest Moon 2. Wario Land. The Simpsons Bart vs. the Juggernauts. Mega Man 3. Kirby's Block Ball. Tech Deck Skateboarding. Wario Blast. Gex 3. Why is this in a case? Top Gun, Guts and Glory. Skate or Die. Bad and Rad. Gremlins 2. Tecmo Bowl. Donkey Kong. That's my favorite Game Boy game, just saying. I love this game. WWF Superstars 2. Pokemon Trading Card Game. In Your Face. Kirby's Pinball Land. Kelly Club. Yeah, Kelly Club. The Flintstones. Godzilla. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. WrestleMania 2000. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Back from the Sewers. Double Dragon. Cutthroat Island. Toy Story. Wario Land 2. Quest. Dragon Warrior 1 and 2. Kirby Star Stacker, sorry. I'm going crazy. Quarth. The Amazing Spider-Man. Adventure Island 2, Aliens in Paradise. That's a cool cover. Super RC Pro-Am. The Castlevania Adventure. Turok. James Bond 007. Heinkel Alien. Tetris Attack. Kicks. Planet of the Apes. Mario Golf. Contra 3, The Alien Wars. Tennis. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Fall of the Foot Clan. Final Fantasy Legend 2. Why do I have so many Game Boy games? Kirby's Dream Land 2. Pokemon Blue. Donkey Kong Land. Donkey Kong Land 3. Marble Madness. Ren and Stimpy Space Cadet Adventures. I actually got this one from Pat the NES Punk. Oh, I've got Casper. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Kirby's Dream Land. Turok Rage Wars. Mario and Yoshi, which is just Yoshi, but the European version. Conker's Pocket Tales. Donkey Kong Land 2. R-Type DX. This one, I had this one as a kid. Pokemon Puzzle Challenge. Nemesis. DuckTales. Dr. Mario. Mario Tennis. Solar Striker. Tetris. Chicken Run. I've got Chicken Run. The Jungle Book. Mickey's Dangerous Chase. Legend of the River King. Super Mario Land. Super Mario Land 2. And The Lion King. That's right, I've got The Lion King on Game Boy. I've got to put all this away. This was all alphabetized. Why do I have Casper on Game Boy Color? Why do I've got Chicken Run. Why? Why is Turok Rage Wars on the Game Boy? This is a multiplayer only game. Why is I forgot. I've got even more. I'm going crazy here. I've got Assassin's Creed 3. WWE 13. This one's actually not bad. This one's cool. It's got an Attitude Era mode where it shows clips from the Attitude Era. Actually pretty sweet. Tetris Evolution. Rocksmith 2014 all new edition. 10 years later, it's still all new. Still. Dishonored. Encore. Sonic Colors. The Surge. NHL 18. And Call of Duty Ghosts.